Thank you, Temple. I am so delighted to be here with all of you. I saw how much fun President Obama had last week, and I wanted to be here in Philadelphia. Before I begin with my remarks, I do want to say how proud I am of our brave first responders working to keep us safe after the attacks of the last weekend in New York, New Jersey, and Minnesota. There are now reports of a suspect in custody, but we must remain vigilant. This is a fast-moving situation and a sobering reminder that we need steady leadership in a dangerous world. I'm here to talk about a number of the issues that are part of this election, but really much more than that. They are part of our future, the kind of country we want to have, the kind of people we want to be, and particularly what kind of opportunities we should be providing for the young people of America. I have a proud owl on my staff, Jamira Burley. A Philadelphia native who became an activist working to end the epidemic of gun violence right here in Philadelphia. She loves Temple, and we love her. And I also want to thank Lauren for that introduction. Jamira and Lauren are two examples of why I do have so much faith in our future. Your generation is the most inclusive, progressive, and entrepreneurial that we've ever seen. And as you heard, when Lauren was in college, she saw challenges facing students of color. But there was no NAACP chapter to support them and promote diversity and inclusion on campus, so she started one. And Lauren remains committed and engaged, working with an organization called Generation Progress, because she understands that active citizenship is a lifelong job, and the call to service never fades. Now, I know that with so much negativity out there, it is really easy to get cynical, especially about our politics. I remember wrestling with that challenge when I was a student during the Vietnam War. It can be tempting to think that no one will tell you the truth and nothing's ever going to change. But you're here today because you refuse to accept cynicism. You know that the next 50 days will shape the next 50 years. And you see how much needs fixing in our country. From the soaring cost of college to the scourge of systemic racism to the threat from climate change. But you also know the only way we can meet those challenges is if we meet them together. You're here because you believe we can do just that. You want something to vote for, not just against. Optimism, not resentment. Answers, not anger. Ideas, not insults. Bridges, not walls. You know, you're also here because you know this election isn't a reality TV show. It shouldn't be about birth certificates or name calling or stunts to get on the cable news. This election comes down to a choice between two very different visions for America. I believe it's wrong to tear each other down. We should be lifting each other up. It's wrong to let income inequality get even worse. We have to make the economy work for everyone, not just those at the top. And it's wrong to put a loose cannon in charge who could start another war. We should work with our allies to keep us safe. It comes down to this. Are we going to pit Americans against each other and deepen the divides in this country? Or are we going to be, as I know we can, stronger together. I know what I believe, and I'm going to close my campaign the same way I started my career, fighting for kids and young people and families. That has been the cause of my life, and it will be the passion of my presidency, and I hope you will join me. We can't get distracted when the media or my opponent turns this election into a circus. My husband has a saying about that. He calls it majoring in the minors. Getting so wrapped up in stuff that doesn't matter, you forget what's really important to your future and to the future of this country. Take the challenges facing young Americans today. First of all, if you're willing to work hard, you should be able to find a good job that pays well and lets you do what you love and make your mark in the world. But that's been out of reach for too many young people, trying to find your footing in the wake of the worst economic crisis since the Great Depression. That's why Tim Kaine and I have a plan to work with both parties and make a historic investment in good new jobs. We can create millions of jobs and make life a lot better by doing things like connecting every household to broadband by 2020, installing 500 million solar panels, building a cleaner, more resilient electric grid with enough renewable energy to power every home in the country. Next, getting an education should give you a boost, not hold you back. But as you know better than most, tuition keeps going through the roof, and debt keeps piling up. I understand that Temple was founded to democratize, diversify, and widen the reach of higher education. That is still a vital goal. So I worked with Bernie Sanders on a plan We came up with a plan that makes public college tuition-free for working families and debt-free for everyone. And if you already have debt, we will help you refinance it and pay it back as a percentage of your income so you're never on the hook for more than you can afford. You can actually see how much you and your family can save under our plan by looking at the college calculator at hillaryclinton.com. And here's something we don't talk about enough. A 4-year degree should not be the only path to a good job in America. People should be able to learn a skill, practice a trade, and making a good living because of that. So we're offering new tax credits to encourage companies to offer paid apprenticeships that let you earn while you learn and do more to dignify skills across the board for welders, machinists, health technicians, coders, and so many other fields. Another challenge I hear about all the time is from new parents about how hard it is to balance the demands of work and family in today's economy. Families look different today than they did decades ago. I think we can all agree. Most need 2 incomes just to get by. And many people now change jobs frequently and have wildly unpredictable schedules. Or they have to cobble together part-time work, all without the basic supports available to parents in nearly every other advanced country. That's why Tim Kaine and I have a plan to help working families with quality, affordable childcare, preschool, and paid family leave. We fundamentally believe the more we can strengthen families, the stronger we will be as a nation. Everywhere I go, young people also share their concerns about the divisiveness and discrimination we see in America today. You aren't and you shouldn't be satisfied with the progress we've made. You should keep wanting to right wrongs and fight for justice and dignity for all. We see, as Lauren said, too many young Black men and women made to feel like their lives are disposable. Too many immigrants living in fear of deportation. Too many young LGBT Americans bullied. Too many young women and men sexually assaulted on campus or in the military or at home. And more than previous generations, you understand that all these challenges are intersecting, and we must take them on together. But you also see a Republican nominee for president who incites hatred and violence like we've never seen before in any campaign. Hate speech being normalized. The dog whistles are out in the open. And yet, despite this, I remain convinced America's best days are ahead of us. In large part, that's because of the inspiring young people I meet every day. I'm inspired by Astrid. I met her in Las Vegas last summer. She was brought to this country from Mexico at the age of 4, with nothing but a doll, a cross, and the dress she was wearing. Now she's in her 20s and advocating for the rights of undocumented Americans and comprehensive immigration reform. We should all join her in this. I'm inspired by Mikey, who I met in New York. Mikey spent 6 months in prison for a low-level drug offense. After he got out, Mikey discovered just how hard it is for people who've done their time to find good jobs and opportunities. But he persisted, and he managed to start his own ice cream shop in New York, and I can recommend it's delicious. We have to do more to help others get that second chance, including by banning the box and reforming our criminal justice system.